Hi, friends. Today I found out that Steven Colbert, the host of The Late Show, is going to be writing the next Tolkien movie. And you may know that Steven is one of the world's greatest experts in J.R.R. Tolkien and was even in The Desolation of Smaug. He had a bit part. And so I'm very excited for him. I'm very excited for this new stage for him since he has to move on from The Late Show, unfortunately. But as much as I love Steven, I have a little bone to pick with him with regard to Tolkien. Because I love The Lord of the Rings. It is a wonderful epic. I cannot say that I've read the Silmarillion yet. It is on my list, as are a number of the others. However, I have read Tolkien's The Fall of Arthur. And I have to say it's not my favorite. I am an Arthurian by passion and hobby. And while I can't claim to be any sort of an expert, I have read just about everything I can get my hands on. And my books are in some disarray, so I don't have everything with me right now. But I started with Mallory from Le Morte d'Arthur, and along the way, read Tennyson, The Idylls of the King. And some of my favorites are Mary Stuart and her trilogy plus one, The Hollow Hills, The Crystal Cave, The Wicked Day, and The Last Enchantment. So what is it about The Fall of Arthur that doesn't really meet my standards? Partly, it's an epic poem. And while Idols is also in that vein, it takes a different tack with regard to the Arthurian legend. It goes, you can see here where I dropped it in the bathtub. It goes into France with Arthur, which is a different battle. And from that standpoint, it can be considered, something different, something new to the canon. But I found it just so difficult to follow and so lacking in the aura of most Arthurian legend that it was very hard to get through. And now, at the time, I also had a newborn, and so reading an epic poem in bits and pieces is not necessarily the best way to get through it. But if you like King Arthur, and I'm missing here, and it's somewhere in the mess in this room that is yet to be organized, T.H. White, Once and Future King, is another wonderful touchstone in the Arthurian world. So my recommendation, and I hope Steven won't look askance at me, but I would start with The Hollow Hills. Mary Stuart is a very prolific author. I think she wrote mostly in the 1960s, and she wrote really wonderful mysteries and really interesting, almost mystery thriller before like the Bond stories and all of that really got gained such prominence. But they were focused a lot of her main characters were women, and they traveled the world and they did these amazing things. And I've got another one nearby. Touch Not the Cat. This was one of my favorites, and this one kept me sane while my daughter was in the emergency room at 2 months old. Read through that and try not to worry too much. She's fine now. She's 13. But there's so many of her wonderful books, and just by happenstance, I have to happen to have them nearby. Nine Coaches Waiting I have and have not read yet. My Brother Michael, oh, so good. One of my favorites. Madam Will You Talk? And I love, love, love the old editions. So if you have a guy who knows how to find the old editions of these, I would love to hear about it. And this is the Gabriel Hounds. So good. And then I think my mom still has the The Ivy Tree, which is another one of my favorites. So, Arthurians, what would you say about The Fall of Arthur by J.R.R. Tolkien compared to Tennyson or Mallory or T.H. White, who is around here somewhere, and Once and Future King? What are your favorites and why? I'd love to hear. Join me, the Growing Inspiration Podcast, on my website at gardenofmydelights.com and on Instagram at gardenofmydelights.